Hey everybody, Mike with Enviroscape LH. I thought I'd make this short video that if you are planning on ripping out your grass in Los Angeles, that you don't just have to put gravel down and a couple of cactus. You can do something really fun and whimsical. So I want to talk today about the elements of what makes not a good landscape, but a great landscape. So it all starts out with the design. So what we did here was we put in this composite border. In the old days, back in the 70s, 80s, we used to use wood border, but now we use this composite material that's made out of, well, it's a lot of composite material. Doesn't ever break down, so that's the nice thing about it. And we put this landscape fabric here, and the landscape fabric, what's going to go on top of it is called decomposed granite, or DG. They'll make these nice orange pathways, really cool warm color that it's going to have. Actually, here's some of it here. We started over here, we laid the flagstone in it. So here's the front entry to the house, and then there's DG, and then we're going to bring more of it in just a little bit. Over here we have planters, and then you can see we put the planters in. We put an air relief valve underneath that thing right there, so it lets all the air out at the highest point of the system. And then we put these caps, and then what's a good practice is to make a diagram of your whole place and then know where the end of the line is, because you want to come back a year later and you want to be able to flush the lines out, and for about 30 seconds. So, and then you're good to go for another year. And speaking of valves, these are the Rainbird drip irrigation, specifically for drip irrigation. These are the sprinkler valves. And then we have another valve here, it's on the right. That's for the autofill. That's gonna go to a fountain that's going to be located where the flag is right there. So reason you see drip irrigation is because that goes down first, and then on top of it goes this mini bark. It's this shredded little mini bark. The mini bark has a lot of uses, but basically it's used to help to keep the weeds down, and it basically fertilizes the soil. So just wanted to show you that that's what it looks like after. This is the before, and then this is the after. So, and then over here we're not going to put any of the bark, because the plan called for decomposed granite, like we see in the pathway there. So this is a really cool thing. Now, if you're noticing these plants look a bit higher, and it's like, well, why didn't they plant them all the way in the ground? That's aren't they going to die? No, because actually, you see where the sidewalk is. Once it's all finished, the orange earth is going to be the decomposed granite. So this will all be leveled off. So we don't have any drip irrigation over in the middle there, obviously, because there's no plants there. It's going to be for when you get out of your car, you can walk over on dry land. So over here, this is something to note too. If you have any downspouts, the whole goal in a landscape for water is to slow the water down. So if there's water, slow it down. You don't want it to leave the property, you want it to stay on the property. So what we did here was we created this little swale so that when excess water does happen, it'll actually fall down and it'll soak into the ground. So these are native drought tolerant plants that we put here. Some of them native, some are drought tolerant. Well, they're all drought tolerant. Natives are drought tolerant. Over here, this is a good example across the driveway here, where you can see there's about 3 inches of this mini bark, and then over here we're going to put the decomposed granite, which doesn't need any water. Over here we're not going to put bark, we're going to actually put decomposed granite too. So those are just some ideas on what you can do to make a great garden into an outstanding garden. Thanks for joining. Mike with Enviroscape LA. When you think sustainability, think Enviroscape LA.